My mom just got deported. My mom just got deported. It's so not fair. It's so not fair. She's literally not a criminal. Like, she's literally just paid her taxes. She's literally just... We're not safe. No one's safe. Please. Hug your loved ones, please.
This is your reminder, none of this shit would be happening if we gave Black Americans reparations when they freed themselves. I am more than happy to break that down for you guys if you want.
What should I say? A moment of silence, please, for his mom. And the deportations are still going on. Trump is petty. The man is petty, I tell you. Man is petty. He is sweeping every single day.
Almost 50,000 Cubans from the Miami area in Florida are facing deportations.
I will vote for Donald Trump. I will vote.
Raise your hands, come on.
For Donald Trump.
And I vote for Mr. Trump. We vote for Mr. Trump. Yes, Mr. Trump. We love you. We love you. All the way to the White House.
I'm calling eyes on you. I'm calling eyes on you.
As you may have heard, many Cubans with permanent residency may now be facing deportation after having returned to Cuba with their permanent residence card. And this is because when you file for asylum and you are granted asylum, and many of these individuals obtain their permanent residency after seeking asylum successfully, they are essentially saying that they're scared to return to their home country. And so when they did return to Cuba, now they are being flagged for committing fraud. And if in fact you travel back to your home country, whether you're from Cuba or not, if you have asylum granted and you are now a permanent resident, you should be very, very wary of traveling back to your home country and not being placed in secondary inspection when you re-enter the United States. It is obvious that you're going to be flagged, and I've been saying this for many years. You shouldn't even travel back if you are a U.S. citizen and you became a U.S. citizen by way of permanent residency, by way of an asylum granted. At any point, you are subject to a review of that. And if it is determined that you became a U.S. citizen through fraud or a permanent resident through fraud, they can try and place you in removal proceedings to take away your citizenship and or your permanent residency. So let this be a warning for anybody considering returning to your home country after affirmatively and successfully getting asylum in the United States, because this will likely flag immigration and give them a reason to place you in removal proceedings in an attempt to strip you of your status.
Things are getting crazier. Even if you're in the country legally, in legal status, you now can lose that status and be deported. Just a few days ago, the Trump administration completely shut down all parole programs in the United States. And the extreme part of that is that there was another order that came the next day that says that migrants from Haiti, Cuba, Nicaragua, and Venezuela who are currently inside the United States in legal parole status could lose the status any day now. We're talking about over 1 million people that came here during the previous administration with legal parole. In addition, Trump canceled previous executive orders specifically focused on AI professionals that are coming to the United States. People that have O1, EB1 visas, national interest waivers could potentially lose those visas if they decide to do so now. If you have any of these statuses, speak to an attorney right now.
It is February 16th, 2025, and just yesterday, Trump fired 18 immigration judges. This comes after he fired 2 immigration judges earlier this week. And, people are asking, well, why would he do that, if he wants to deport more people? And I keep saying this, and I'm going to say it again because I really, truly believe this, because he doesn't plan on deporting people anymore. He's been in office, about a month now. I feel like they probably feel like they gave people a chance to go home. They've deported some folks. But remember, they are ramping Guantanamo Bay up to fit 30,000 prisoners. They have signed a deal now with El Salvador wherein they will take prisoners as well. And of course, the U.S. has plenty of prisons anyway. They are just going to start locking people up. They're not even going to deport people. They're not going to give them their day in court. What comes to mind is, how they have been locking people up who have legitimately gotten visas through Biden's Venezuela program, Asylum program, for instance. They just don't care anymore. So if you're undocumented, be extremely careful. Definitely look at your options that are out there. I know from what I've read, Canada is being far more humane to immigrants and migrants, so something to think about. Stay safe out there.
My mom just got deported. My mom just got deported. It's so not fair. It's so not fair. She's literally not a criminal. She literally just paid her taxes. She's literally just... We're not safe. No one's safe. Please. Hug your loved ones, please.
This is your reminder, none of this shit would be happening if we gave Black Americans reparations when they freed themselves. I am more than happy to break that down for you guys if you want.
Alerta cubanos con I-220A, cubanos con I-220B, todos los que llegaron por CBP-1 o con el parol humanitario. Tengo aquí a la abogada de inmigración Patricia Hernández. Le voy a realizar a ella preguntas muy concretas y directas para que usted no vea un video de 10 minutos, sino que en cerca de 5 minutos tenga la información necesaria. Patricia, los cubanos con I-220A deben de preocuparse con este nuevo memorando que estaría posibilitando sus deportaciones expeditas.
Sí, porque este memorando autoriza a las autoridades a cerrar casos en la Corte de Migración, a quitar paroles que estén vigentes y poner a las personas en un caso de deportación expedita.
¿Eso aplica también a todos los que entraron además del parol humanitario por CBP-1?
Sí.
¿Cubanos que no hayan aplicado la residencia también?
Exacto, personas que entraron por CBP-1, que entraron con parol humanitario y todavía los cubanos que no han podido llegar al año y el día, que no tienen una aplicación pendiente con inmigración, están a riesgo de ser puestos en una deportación expedita bajo este nuevo memorando.
¿Los que tienen una I-220B también, aunque tengan un caso de asilo político pendiente o algo así?
Bueno, si es una I-220B, ellos tienen ya una orden de deportación, ya no tienen nada pendiente. Entonces ellos pueden ser deportados sin tener la habilidad de ir a una audiencia.
En el caso de los cubanos que hayan aplicado a la ley de ajuste cubano y que hayan llegado también con el parol humanitario por CBP-1, pero todavía la residencia permanente no la han recibido, ¿están en peligro o porque ya están casi, vamos a decir, en la recta final, no se tienen que preocupar?
Yo diría que bajo este memorándum por ahora ellos están a salvo porque ya tienen un proceso pendiente con inmigración y ya han llegado a los mínimos requisitos, que entraron con parol y tienen el año y el día. Por ahora yo diría ellos no se tienen que preocupar, lo más importante es que mantengan todo su permiso de trabajo y todo vigente.
Este memorando que posibilitaría rápidamente la expulsión de estas personas pudiera encontrarse con alguna demanda en la Corte y que de momento esto se paralice.
Sí, más probable los diferentes grupos van a establecer demandas contra este memorándum y bajo esa demanda el juez que esté viendo el caso puede emitir una orden temporal parando el memorando mientras se litigia este tema.
De momento, ¿qué deben hacer las personas? ¿Hay algo que puedan hacer ante esta incertidumbre o desesperación?
En este momento, lo más importante es no paralizarte. Actúa, busca asesoría de un abogado de migración de confianza. Acuérdense, en este momento hay muchos estafes con la migración también. Mucho cuidado con trabajar con notarios. Acuérdese, un notario en los Estados Unidos no es un abogado y no le puede dar aviso legal. Lo más importante es que haga una consulta con un abogado de migración donde pueda hablar de su caso individual y pueda estudiar sus opciones migratorias.